Alrighty then, it's time for a Volibear game, and this one is another one of those discussion videos. Which one? And for those who aren't too used to the discussion videos as of late, there's a good reason for that. It's because it's better to start off every season with discussion videos for champions because everyone's just constantly asking, what's your opinion on X champion and whatnot. So I'd rather just give them my opinion and my thoughts on them and how they're performing so far in the preseason than skipping ahead and just making pure commentaries without thoroughly explaining myself. It also kind of helps just, having a database for every champion rather than just constantly playing the same champions or whatever. This encourages me to, try different dudes. So I've been trying to play at least one game with every champion, even if it hurts me in the end, because sometimes this champion is not adequate for the lineup I have or against the opponents, but I have to pick them just to sort of get footage on them. Either way, with Volibear, I believe my runes and masteries were 0, 18, and 12, taking Thunderlord's Decree from the utility tree, whatever it's called now, I forgot. I think Cunning, right? And my runes were attack damage reds, attack damage quints, arm yellow, and I believe just magic resistance blues. They were pretty much standard fare for him. And as far as masteries go, the cunning tree, the utility tree, is really damn good on him, for someone like him at least. Because for those who aren't aware, I consider Volibear probably the strongest bodyguard in the game. Even though he doesn't have the most CC out of anything, like you would expect someone like Nautilus to be a really strong bodyguard, but the thing is, Volibear's CC is very pure and instantaneous, and it creates an immediate effect. So, like if anybody's near you and you just click your E, it just slows them immediately. Just click an E in there, whatever. If they're in melee range of you, just use your Q and you flip them, and that's it. Plus, if they're in melee range to you, like if they attack your teammates, then that's the best spot for Volibear because he just gets to stand there, stack up his W, and bite someone's face, or use his ultimate and actually use the assailant or whoever he's trying to keep away from his teammates as a conductor for his ultimate, so to speak, right? So as a bodyguard, that's one of Volibear's best positions. I do admit, I don't think he does a lot of damage. A lot of players have given me a lot of crap for saying Volibear doesn't have a lot of damage. And again, it's true, he just does it. I mean, over time, if someone stands still and you get to scratch at them and have a chance to bite them when they're low, yeah, that's kind of good damage right there. Early on, his damage is rather easy to use and implement because you're kind of just in 1v1s, but in a full skill team fight, there's a good chance you're just going to get knocked around or you're not going to get a chance to bite the right target that you want. So your damage becomes a lot more mitigated later. Again, I'll say that again. Early game, his damage easier to use and it's actually quite high. In fact, makes him a really dangerous duelist in the early game, combined with the fact that he's really fucking fat and won't die to most anybody else. But when it comes to team fights, his damage is difficult to use, so just by default, he doesn't have the highest or most reliable damage of anybody. I mean, in comparison to a lot of other similar champions. You'll actually see that come into effect later into this game, where I'm mostly going to be useful for executing somebody who's low and I just happen to be next to them, or using my utility to control someone as best I can. That's kind of going to be mostly the full use of my abilities later on. As far as you can see in this game, we're getting kind of rocked, and I'm not having the best effect. Of course, though, if you could read the chat, Jesus Christ, the amount of negativity in this team, especially from the Riven, was immense. Nonetheless, though, some people here, especially that Tristan, was trying to keep as high spirits as possible, despite the fact that she had a lot of connection issues. So this is probably the roughest game you will see me upload for Season 6 so far. By the way, any noise you hear in the background, again, it's just construction you hear, so keep that in mind. Anyways, as far as Volibear goes, his win rate right now is actually more than the average. It's pretty admirable. And I would say it's sort of like the effect of champion types like Tron and such. The tanky champions who can throw their weight around quite easily are kind of ahead of the curve right now. They're just smashing people. They're too fat to kill quickly, and a lot of the itemization and masteries are really beneficial to them, so they're kind of just doing well. As far as Volibear goes, though, he's kind of like playing the second fiddle to a lot of these champions. Like, why pick Volibear when you can just pick Trundle right now? Up until Trundle gets nerfed, of course, or nerfed considerably. So, Volibear, I wouldn't say he's someone you should rush to pick, but if those other champions are banned, or you just kind of like teddy bears a little bit more, then you might as well pick Volibear. I mean, I have a really, really bad pattern with Volibear, as those people who watch me on stream go. Every time I pick Volibear, even if I do well or do poorly, I'm doomed to lose, either because of some DC or some other shit. So this is like my fourth Volibear game this season, and this isn't even the only Volibear game where I had a DC or something bad happen. The other 3 Volibear games were all equally plagued with angry players, and one of them had 2 disconnections at the very beginning. So yeah, this is the best I got. But hey, people have been asking for the Volibear one quite a bit because they've seen him just a tad more than usual, and because they've been he's actually pretty strong right now, and I'm putting that in quotations. I can't show you my quotation fingers that I'm doing in the air, but that's what I'm doing. So sorry, I'm also still kind of sick with the sniffle, so you might hear that as well. As far as this game goes, you can see it's just, we're right now 6-16. The enemy team is just curve stomping us. The Jax is getting out of control, and not one of us can 1v1 him. Hell, we couldn't even 2v1 him. So the best we can do right now is try to farm up and catch people, but like, we're not in sync with this. The Riven is just piss angry at everybody, so he's not refusing to group up with us, and he's being selfish by stealing the blue buff from our mid laner and stealing every bit of farm she can. My bottom laners, well, you can see the Riven once again being too fucking greedy, and then she's gonna die for that. My mid and bottom laners are trying to work together, but they just don't have enough power yet to do anything. So it's kind of up to me to at least throw my life away and set up some kills somewhere else. Basically, as far as things go, well, I'm going to be a CC bot, or at least yeah, a fat sack of wall to at least defend them. So Volibear Bodyguard is going to have to play a role here. And Jesus shit, you can see 9-18. 9-18 right now, and the amount of rage that the Riven is showing caused us all to meet her ass. We just couldn't bear with it anymore. Anyways, they get another dragon. They obviously have our entire jungle warded, just because of how Twisted Fate reacts to pretty much every movement. And the Riven is deciding she's not going to assist us anymore. Of course, I'm just assuming this because we can't really hear her. And if he gets towered over by Jax, there's absolutely nothing we could have done to stop him even when we're all there. And we're forced to defend now. Here's a turning point. They're all rather low health, but they're not on the ball, it seems, either. They focused me down for a little while, but Janna's ultimate keeps me alive. I didn't even know she had like a Medjai's, so she's actually doing a lot with her abilities. Sivir gets a little too close, so just waiting for my chance to flip her over, silence her, and then Tristan blows her the fuck up. She manages to remove Jax from her sight and then kill him. She gets the Janna gets the shutdown gold, and then we kill the Rek'Sai as well. That's a massive turnaround. We killed 4 people there. We killed 4 people, got a bunch of shutdown gold, and in the meanwhile, Riven was able just to push the inhibitor because nobody paid attention to her. Wherever the Twisted Fate was, he definitely should have been down in bottom lane, because otherwise, because if it was bottom lane, we would have just completely lost. So we're still hanging in there. The morale of the Tristana is gone tremendously. The Janna is probably the MVP so far of this game, if you've noticed. The Onivia, as much as she's losing, she's also pretty damn vital. Her wall and her ultimate are going to play the biggest role, at least at controlling these champions. My build right now, if I was doing properly, I probably would have taken something like Titanic Hydra or Dead Man's Plate, but in this case I have to go with Randuin's Omen and a Frozen Heart just to try to control the Jax as much as possible. Anyways, apparently, the Jax is also refusing to group up with his teammates, so we never really have to deal with a full group. So it's allowing us to try to make plays. Of course, the Riven is trying to force plays and ends up getting herself killed again. I mean, she does kill the Sivir, but it ends up costing her life. So we trade our top carry for their AD carry, which is a worthwhile trade, to be fair. And then I get absolutely destroyed, and Rek'Sai gets destroyed as a return. So we trade junglers right then and there. Shutdown Gold also exchanges hands. So it's kind of a worthwhile trade-off still. My Tristana is going to be the anchor of this game. If I can make sure Tristana doesn't die, then we will win. Thankfully, Janna and Volibear are pretty good at defending carries, even more so alongside the Anivia. Again, her wall and her ultimate will play a humongous role at protecting her. Here you can see, though, I tried going for Twisted Fate to try to get a cheeky kill on him because everybody was near us, and I thought if we kill Twisted Fate quickly, then maybe we can do something. But unfortunately, it turned out to be a pretty bad play. My teammates give chase, but the enemy team doesn't respond to this as best they can. Again, they're not really coordinated either. As a result, a few of them, I think, actually, none of them get picked off. Sorry, I'm not remembering this perfectly. We lose Tristana and we lose me. Meanwhile, the Riven decides to take a tower, which I guess is a beneficial thing as well. I do believe she gets away with this. But watch this. This is the carnage that unfurls. Again, Jax hasn't been with his team. He's just been doing his own goddamn thing. But fucking Jax murders the shit out of Riven. Then jumps on the Anivia and murders the shit out of her too. Then it's me and Janna 2v1ing the Jax. Even with exhaust, he's kicking my ass so damn hard. I'm getting pinged a lot by the Riven because she's just like, get the fuck away from him, I assume. But I back away, just trying to give my passer some chance to heal me. And holy shit, Jax almost killed the Janna as well. I'm pretty damn sure if I didn't back away there, he would have killed me and then quickly have killed the Janna as well. Damn, he could have almost 1v5 the entire enemy team. Of course, 1 by 1, together he would have died rather quickly. Thankfully, the Tristana was there to pick him off. It's just insane. We can't deal with the Jax, but again, fortunately, he's being a complete dumbass and just not hanging out with his teammates. If he decided to group up with his homies, this would have been an entirely different game. Anivia gets hooked and easily killed, but she's got an egg. And so Thresh basically died for nothing there. We're able to turn this around. Once again, Jax is jacking off at top lane, absolutely not helping his teammates in any way. This allows us to continue to push while bottom lane gets shoved in further. The Tristana goes crazy and just destroys the Sivir. Boom, dead. And the Janna ultimate just heals us basically up to full. Anivia's doing her best to try to control the Rek'Sai, and fortunately it's enough for Tristana to get crazy enough and kill him as well. Jax comes in, but it's too late for him to do anything. He basically gets controlled by me, Janna, and Anivia, and gets absolutely wrecked. Then, of course, Twisted Fate shows up. I tanked the tower for the Tristana, meanwhile they just blow him up, and that's pretty much it. From our ass, we pull this victory just straight out of our ass. I honestly can't believe we even won that. Again, thankfully, the Tristana was on the goddamn ball, and all of us worked to protect her ass. I would say, like, I wasn't the most important player. It was Janna and, well, pretty much Janna and Tristana winning this game for us. But holy shit, at least I got to show off some of Volibear's ability to protect people, or at least, act as a fat-ass wall. And thankfully, both Riven and Jax were more concerned with fucking over their teams than actually winning.